ahead and jump in. If anybody comes in the last couple of minutes, then we'll catch them up to speed. My name is Jared. I'm with Flash Omni Media. We are a marketing and advertising agency based in Lexington. I'm also the chair of the Small Business Council, and today's meeting is brought to you by the Small Business Council and the Northeast Connection at the Columbia Chamber. Typically, I say typically, it's been about 6 months since typically was happening, but we have the Small Business Council, which hosts a Small Business Breakout the last Friday of every month, and then the Northeast Connection, which is an outreach group that aims to connect with business in the Northeast of Columbia, and that's typically the third Tuesday of every month. We talk about business growth and ways to grow your business and connect with one another. We just aim to add value to small businesses here in the Midlands. But now, since COVID, we have combined that into one virtual meeting. We appreciate all of you for registering and spending some time with us this morning. I just want to reiterate, if you've just gotten here, go ahead and click those 3 dots that are on your screen in your Brady Bunch thumbnail, and rename yourself. We're all about connecting here, so put your name and the organization that you're associated with, and I will kick it over to Audra and Henry for some chamber updates.
Sorry, everyone. Hi, again, thank you guys for coming out. We're really excited to see you. So as for chamber updates, your friendly neighborhood chamber staff is back full time since August 1st, which is really exciting. So we are here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 to call and serve you guys with whatever you need for partnership or any questions that you may have. As for events coming up, our next meeting will be August 25th, which is our military outreach group. And Susan, I believe you're on a call if you would like to talk more about that.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I am on the call, and I am excited that we have our military outreach group meeting on Tuesday, the 25th of August from 2 to 3. It's a Zoom meeting, and we will have our commanders from each of our local military affiliates here. We'll have a good report from the National Guard, who is covering the United States all over, trying to protect our freedom. We have Fort Jackson, who continues training our soldiers every day. We'll have McIntyre and the Air National Guard. And then we'll also have reports from folks like the employer support for the Guard and Reserve, who are the employers who do take care of our Guard members when they go out to serve our country. And so we'll just have a great update on what's going on locally, and then we'll hear from some of our partners about the support that is being offered for our military. Hope everybody will join us.
Awesome. And we also have issues forum on September 1st as well. Henry, do you know?
I'm gonna let Susan.
Okay.
Susan.
Hey, good morning again. We do have issues on Tuesday, September the 1st. That is from 8 to 9. It will be a Zoom conference once again, and on this one we're pleased to have Kim Wilkerson from Bank of America. She is our outgoing chairman of the board, but she will be serving as our moderator for this session. We also have Mayor Steve Benjamin talking. We have 2 other speakers who we are waiting to confirm, and we're going to be talking about diversity and inclusion in the workplace. So should be a very timely and very interesting discussion. Hopefully we'll have a lot of great tips for others to take a look at to make sure that everybody is working together as one unit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, if you guys remember, some of you were on the initial call when you asked if the chamber would be involved in that kind of discussion. Our chairperson of the board at the time, Kim Wilkerson, Kim has had her last meeting as chair. But at the time, Kim says, yeah, I want to do that. She says, because corporate needs to lead the charge in some way. So we're glad that our board is involved in that discussion. Susan has done a yeoman's job of trying to put it all together, working with Bank of America. So I think it's going to be a very good and timely discussion.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about that one. And I hope you guys will all join that. And those start at 8 a.m. and it's on September 1st. I believe we'll have a lot of attendance for that for sure. And the next Breakout and Northeast Connection meeting combined will be on the third Tuesday in September, which is September 15th from 8:30 to 9:30. So hopefully you can join for some morning networking before you kick off your day. So I'm going to punt it back over to Jared to start. Oh, Henry has something else. I'm so sorry.
That's quite all right. Before you do, we're sort of slow with the transition between fiscal year. And this is a new fiscal year. I'm glad to see Ann on the line. We've been meaning to meet. We've been out of the office. It's been really crazy. It's slowing down now some, Ann. Ann Thomason is the new chair for the Northeast Connection Group. And Ann, would you care to say something?
Yeah, I'm just excited to take it over. And Jared and I met last week. They're trying to figure out how to make sure we continue to combine value, even as a combined small breakout group or small business council and the Northeast Connection Business Council. So any suggestions, things like that? I know Zoom has changed our lives, and this is all the interaction we get. Conversations about how to add an in-person piece to that safely, and let people that are sick of meeting virtually have the ability to meet in person is certainly on the table for conversation. So any conversation or any ideas that any of you have surrounding that and what you would like to do, due to limited space downtown, we're probably going to try and meet in the Northeast would be a suggestion for a little while and see if we can kick that off. So any ideas you've got surrounding that would be super helpful.
Great.
Yeah, we're really excited about what we can do in the next fiscal year. So that stay tuned for some cool things that we have on the slate. We're all about our partnerships and our value relationships that we have. Obviously, with City of Columbia and Richland County, we got a couple representatives. I know that the city has a couple webinars that are coming up. So I wanted to kick it over to you, Aisha, if you wanted to update everybody. I know there's some valuable information that you guys are sharing. If you want to just let everybody know.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I'm Aisha Durs with the City of Columbia in the Office of Business Opportunities. This Thursday, we have a webinar specific for the construction industry to find out what methods they have in place to adhere to different CDC and DHEC guidelines. And also, we're going to have a session included in that webinar for anyone that's interested in getting into the construction industry. There are a lot of people due to job loss that may be interested in trying a new trade. And so we'll have some of those owners to discuss how someone could get into the construction industry. And then next Wednesday, we're having a leveraging technology webinar with Rick Wade from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to kind of discuss the disparities in technology and how everyone needs to pivot and embrace technology during these times. And then we're going to have some of our partners discuss what they have going on, like Richland Library will be there to discuss their entrepreneurship program and some of those resources that are available to the public.
We certainly appreciate our partnership with City of Columbia and everything that you guys are doing. If you don't mind, Aisha, would you drop some of either the dates or some information in the chat so everybody can save that and take that with them after this? Also, want to tell you guys, if you open the chat and you click the three little dots in the chat, you can save it. So I encourage everybody to drop your contact information. We're all about connecting. So drop your email, put something in the chat. Throughout this entire discussion, we'll be engaging in the chat. So just want to make you guys aware that you can save the chat and save all the valuable information that will be there for the end. I want to spotlight, so we have September 15th is our next breakout. We hope to see you all again then. Go ahead and put it on your calendar. I'm going to reiterate that a few times. But then another way to get involved, great way to get involved in the chamber is through the Diplomat program. And also have Bryant Davis, who is with Richland County. Bryant, if you want to spotlight anything going on with Richland County that people can attend or receive some value from, and just a quick second about the diplomats and how people can get involved.
Sure, Derek. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to pass along our small business office at the county is doing their annual event. This year's event is entitled Diversity, Inclusion, and Equality, a Roadmap for Leveraging Opportunities. And that will be a virtual event on September 10th. You can actually go to our Richland County website if you'd like more information on that. And so again, just commend Aisha in the city and Eric at the county, just continuing to work for opportunities for our small businesses and continuing to make those available. And just in regards to the diplomats, we are a very crucial part of the outreach that exists for the chamber. And so continually need anybody or that is looking for an opportunity to get out and network with businesses at the chamber. It's a great opportunity to learn how the chamber advocates for those, and you play a very strong role in doing that as well. So just if anybody is interested in that, I'll put my information in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to get you some more information about it. But just glad to be here, and thank you all for participating this morning.
We appreciate all you guys. Thanks, Bryant. So that's all of our updates for right now. It's time to get down to business, so to say. So just a quick overview of kind of how this will run. We have a couple questions. We'll break up into smaller breakout groups. So you'll be paired with, I think we have 25, so probably 5 groups of 5. That makes sense to me. But you'll be paired with 5 other people. We want to talk about our business. You know, we'll go around quickly, and we want you to introduce yourself, give us your elevator pitch, or describe your business in 30 seconds. And then we'll have a question for each breakout group to discuss. So we want to facilitate that discussion. We'll go into the breakout group, talk about or discuss one topic, come back to the larger group, kind of discuss the takeaway of each breakout group, and then go back for another question, and then reconvene right here at the end. So the first question I want to ask is, how have you been successful, or how have you kind of changed your narrative of success over the past 6 months? You know, I think success has looked different for a lot of people in a lot of different industries. So what have you done, or what is something in your industry that has changed to help make you successful, or that has kind of changed that definition of success for you? So we'll go into the breakout room here in just a couple of minutes. Don't forget to introduce yourself, talk about your business, and then answer the question, how has success changed, or what have you done to be successful during the past 6 months? Right. As everybody starts to trickle back in, if you guys had some creative ways that you've been successful, I see a couple new faces. We'll try and catch you guys up. If your breakout had something interesting, or a great way that you that someone had found success, or had a different metric of success, go ahead and drop that in the chat. I was in my breakout, had someone from assisted living and someone from HR. So obviously 2 things that are kind of really going crazy right now. So the metrics of success and kind of what they've dealt with and how they've navigated the waters was pretty cool. I'm going to, how I measure success, I'll kind of open it up if anybody if anybody wants to follow me. My day-to-day operations are connecting with people and meeting people. So facilitating typically in-person events, but obviously that's changed. And one way I've been successful in connecting with individuals is by participating in breakouts like these. And if I'm connected with you on LinkedIn, you've seen it before, I will take a screenshot of all the participants and then tag you in my post on LinkedIn to try and connect with you and then people that are in your circle. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys all a forewarning that I'm going to take my screenshot now before we start off again. So make sure you smile, make sure you don't have any food or anything in your teeth, but I'm about to do that in 3, 2, 1. All right. So that just allows me to connect with you guys on LinkedIn. It has all your names there, so it's easy for me to find you. Then it also connects with the people that you're connected with. So it extends my network, or potentially that's someone that can be beneficial for me to know. So I encourage you all to do that. Post something and then encourage your friends to comment. I work in marketing advertising. So the more comments you have, that's true engagement. You'll get further reach, more connections, hopefully more beneficial for your business. But we'll jump into the second part. Unless does anybody have anything they want to share? Audra, did you hear anything awesome while you were bouncing around?
No, we didn't, but I would love to hear some of our other participants share any of their stories. I'm sure everybody's adapted in some sort of way.
Hey, Jared, I'll go ahead and add something real quick. This is Joe Bernard with Providence Health. I was just saying that one of the things that is really gaining momentum for not just us at Providence, but across the country in healthcare is telemedicine. So we were kind of maybe crawling slowly around that. technology as far as our healthcare system was concerned, but COVID-19, I think, really significantly jump-started, the use of telemedicine, in particular in like primary care offices, standalone physician offices and things of that nature. So I know for us personally, we're going to see a lot more use of telemedicine in the months and years ahead, and COVID-19 was a big impetus for that.
It's amazing what when you have to do something, how things advance so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of like Zoom. I think I'd maybe used Zoom a couple times. Obviously not the same significance as telemedicine, but now I use Zoom 5 to 10 times a week. It's crazy when you're back's against the wall. You gotta make a decision. You gotta pivot. Anybody else have anything that they want to share? Thank you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll
Ron,
jump in.
oh yeah, Sims, go ahead.
So I was in with Ron, and he mentioned something that resonated with me, and that was just that shifting your focus back to how you add value for your customers, because obviously most of us were not able to do that in the same way we had done it previously. So I use that kind of as my guiding principle. I'm in the employee benefits education and enrollment space. So if you guys are familiar with that, it is traditionally been a 100% face-to-face kind of environment. So that has been turned on its head. And so really engaging with my customers and understanding what's important to them has led us to really go down the path of fully virtual call center and tech-based enrollment. So pretty interesting, but I appreciated the insight Ron shared there to guide me back to that.
Definitely appreciate you sharing, Sims. I knew Ron always has a plethora of knowledge to share, so I knew if I called on him, he would have at least something, but he had already passed that on to you. So Ron, if you have any more Harveyisms before we jump into the second part, I'd love to hear your input, or I can ask you next time when we come back after this. All right. So second, so we talked about success. How have you measured success? How have you been successful? What are some obstacles that you face? What's something that maybe you can't get over the hump with, or maybe you're struggling to connect with people, or maybe you're struggling to figure out how to connect with people outside of your circle or make a pivot? What are you struggling with right now? So we'll take that into another breakout room. So hopefully you'll have a couple of new individuals to connect with. Make sure you connect. And what are you struggling with? What obstacles do you face in your business right now? Kristen, what side of town do you typically operate out of?
Well, I have been doing most of my work actually out of Greenville, just because of what I standardized in. Tended to lend itself mostly to a manufacturing environment. And so working with a lot of the manufacturers up in the upstate and traveling there. And now I've found that because of COVID and it being forcing me to branch out, I've actually started working with people all over the country. So it's kind of forced me out of my comfort zone, but it's ended up, I think in the long run, it'll be a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think that's one thing that COVID has forced everyone to do is you don't necessarily have a comfort zone. Just like for a little while, it felt like there was no necessarily like weekdays or weekends. It's like there's no comfort zone or non-comfort zone. It's just kind of like the same weird feeling all the time. What type of trainings do you do for these manufacturers?
Mostly business analytics. So they have vast amounts of data that they're trying to analyze. They've been trying to do it in Excel, and it just hasn't been a good fit for them. So Microsoft came out with Power BI, which is a tool that allows you to analyze large, millions and billions and trillions even of records, and be able to manipulate them, create reports and dashboards that they can effectively share that information with people inside their company and outside of their company in a way that it's not intimidating to them. So it's been a very powerful product to really, my background is in SAP, so that's kind of why I started in that industry, but I'm branching out into other industries, pharmaceuticals, and different companies as well, are also have large amounts of data that they just don't know how to process it. Excel at some point, you hit that glass ceiling, and so we need to find better solutions. So this has been a great solution.
So manufacturing is like, I guess, a niche of ours as far as our clientele. So I would love to connect with you offline and kind of talk about how we might be able to add value to each other.
Wonderful.
I like what Ann said about the lack of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was good.
All right, everybody's starting to come back.
Just a little longer.
So something that's beneficial about these things, or about these breakouts, I just made a connection. Kristen, who is on the call with us, I want to explain it. Kristen works with manufacturers about different training processes. Kristen, if you want to kind of, I'll give you a couple seconds to pitch your business, and if you want to kind of educate everybody about what you do.
Hi, I'm with Above and Beyond Training. I do training. Traditionally, I've done it in person, but now I'm doing it remotely. Also consulting, and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. But we've seen a trend over the last few years where we're just running out of space in the traditional Microsoft products to handle large amounts of data. So we want to be able to create reports and ways to communicate with people. Of course, visually, we want the pretty pictures now to be able to show this is our trends going up or it's going down. So being able to do that in Excel we've started to hit that glass ceiling there. And so Power BI was released by Microsoft several years ago to really take that data to the next level. And so I'm finding manufacturers, which is kind of where I come from, formerly a systems engineer with HP. That was what I standardized in with HP and SAP and manufacturing. So that's kind of where I've started. But I'm also branching out into pharmaceuticals and different industries that have just large amounts of data that they need to be able to process. And so this has been a great tool. The virtual learning has been a challenge, but customers are starting to embrace that. The consulting has been a challenge, but now I'm finding that instead of, working 9 to 5, sometimes my consulting is happening at 10 o'clock at night. So it's been interesting. Also, even teaching in China, sometimes my training sessions are at 2 in the morning. So it's been an interesting challenge, but it's something that is somewhat maybe kind of working now, but it's been good. So I'm hoping that it'll continue to improve over time.
So I heard Kristen say that she had worked that she's worked with a lot of manufacturers. We have a lot of manufacturing clients at Splash. So if I could somehow connect one of my clients with her to add value to both of them, that's really what we aim to do here in these chamber breakouts. Is not necessarily who in this meeting can I sign a contract with. It's how can you grow your network to add value to your business and your clientele. So something that we struggle with, or an obstacle that we face, I think, as long as I'll break the ice, as long as it's me, or for me in the way that I would like to connect with people face to face, as long as this COVID thing is hanging around, I don't think we're going to be having as many big face-to-face events. So that'll always be a struggle, but I like to be creative and problem solve and figure out how to navigate those waters. So I accept the challenge. If anybody else has anything that they would want to share about maybe an obstacle that you face, if it's something that we can help with at the chamber, whether you think so or not, I bet there's someone in this group, in this breakout, or someone that they know that might be able to add value to you and be able to help you problem solve. So I'll open it up if anybody else wants to share.
Jared, before you go further, one of the things that in our breakout session, and Ann, I'm gonna call on you again. Ann said something, and I'm wondering if the rest of you are feeling or seeing that as well. Ann talked about in her dealing, she found that people are becoming, how did you put it, Ann, less trustworthy or less trusting in others.
So I think the lack of a physical connection, we're so separated now that we've become emotionally distant as well as physically distant. We stand 6 feet apart. We don't shake hands. We don't hug. We don't do any of that. I think it's also turned into a trust factor, because now you don't have some of the ways that we would traditionally make a connection with a person. Those have been removed. So now I'm finding in real estate that it is harder to make that connection with somebody and help them make the largest purchase or make a huge change that they may not want to make, and build that same level of trust without the same level of ability to have that connection.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Susan was going to say something regarding the military and some of the obstacles that she was facing. And I wanted her to share that with everybody.
Thanks, and good morning again. It's more of like what Ann's saying. In our business, we are people persons, we are huggers, we're smilers, we're greeters, we handshake, and that's how you build relationships a lot of times. And with the fact that, you know, the post has been closed down for several months now, we just started going back out doing officer orientations. And so while they have continuously been training visitors, it has been just meeting people and going to change of commands and welcoming the new staff members is definitely a challenge. So we're behind the curve a little bit on building the relationships, except for on Zoom, meeting people, sending emails. So it really makes that constant communication even more important from a written standpoint. And then again, with like out at the USO in the airport, we've had a lot of our soldiers, the new recruits are coming in. And so the USO has had to back down on how many volunteers they've had out there. So we've got maybe 6 or 8 volunteers who are bringing in 400 to 500 soldiers a couple of nights a week, and then we're shipping them back out on the weekend. So just always a new challenge on how do you make friends, how do you smile with your eyes, how do you reach out to people in emails, and you know, just keep that communications gap going, because obviously, like Ann's saying, it ends up being emotionally distanced, and goodness knows that's one of the things that I can't afford, to be emotionally distanced from anybody. And then you take a look at with the city and the county government, and I know Bryant's feeling a lot of this too. When you're working on a lot of issues, it's that face-to-face communications that builds that relationship and helps you gain understanding. So I've really missed that. I've sat on many Zoom calls with City Council, Affordable Housing, with the Richland County Council, and they're on a break right now, so I know that they're not missing those 6 and 7 hour Zoom meetings at night. But it's very interesting to see how do you communicate around the county and around the city via a communications tool that we're used to face to face. So I think you'll never hear me complain about going to a meeting in person again. I will be so excited.
I completely agree.
All right.
Took it for granted. So we have a couple minutes left. Does anybody else want to jump in and share?
I had a suggestion. Excuse me. Let's all look at getting together at maybe one of these outdoor breweries. You know, the picnic tables. Everybody could stand around at a safe distance, actually get in front of each other. And if nothing else, the chamber group can get together and meet, talk to each other. And, you know, at the very least, it'd be an outlet for each other to, you know, have somebody to talk to, even if we don't, you know, at the very least have, you know, some face-to-face time.
Yeah. And that brings me, Jared, to, I shared in our breakout room, our executive committee voted at the last executive committee meeting that we won't do any chamber face-to-face, chamber-sponsored face-to-face meeting on until perhaps October. Well, not even October. They will look at it in October and see if they will. Part of the problem is that a lot of the companies are saying they will not let their employees participate in any face-to-face meeting. That brings me back to public policy. And yeah, this is a small business council, but Susan and I are also on the public policy side. One of the issues we are pushing very hard is indemnification for businesses. Right now, if someone comes in your business and get COVID or says that they was exposed to COVID in your business, you're liable. And what we're saying is that businesses, if they follow the rules as laid out, then they need to be indemnified. They need to be protected from lawsuits of that nature. We've not seen any here yet, but the other chambers in other states are seeing quite a few lawsuits of people going into businesses and then suing and saying, hey, I got COVID when I got into your business. The federal government is looking at that. We're pushing I'll let our representatives in Congress to do something about it, but we're also pushing the State House. There is a bill that we're pushing here and at the State House, and they come back next month in September, and we're pushing them to address that issue. Because I think if that's addressed, I think some of the fear will be gone too. Some people don't want to do anything because they're afraid that they might be sued. So, so I just want to share that with you and share what what came out of our executive committee meeting.
Definitely, and I think I've been advocating. I want to meet in person as bad as anybody else, and I know I've been asking Henry and Audra, and I've been asking that question quite a bit. So trust me, they've been hearing it from me at least. We're trying to do everything that we can as soon as we possibly can while making sure that we take the appropriate measures so no one is at risk for health issues or legal issues. But I really appreciate all of you for registering and spending some time with us this morning. Just a couple reminders. Our next breakout is September 15th at 8:30. We'll have a whole new slate of questions. It'll be similar format, but we'll aim to connect in different ways. I encourage all of you to invite someone, bring someone with you next time. They don't necessarily have to be a chamber partner to participate. We'd love for them to participate and get a taste of what it's like to be a part of the chamber family and how you can add value. It was a great way to introduce somebody to what we do here in these breakouts and what the chamber is about overall. Military outreach group, Susan, I know August 25th. Issues Forum is September 1st, and then September 15th is our breakout next month. If you want to get in touch with anybody about the diplomat program, it's a great way to outreach within the chamber and to get in front of a lot more partners. You can reach out to them. I'm a part of the diplomat program as well. Bryant chairs that committee. If you want to reach out to either of us or to Audra or the chamber staff, however we can help you get connected. I hope that you guys made some valuable connections today. That's it for me. I really appreciate you all. I'll kick it back over to Audra and Henry if you have anything else you want to close with.
Absolutely. So thank you again for attending our meeting. One thing that I wanted to close out on is we are starting a new initiative here at the Chamber called Partner Profile. I don't know if you guys follow us on Instagram or Facebook. If you don't, you should, because we post a lot of public policy updates, our event updates, and any partner updates. We love to share those. But what Partner Profile is we're highlighting at least once a week, but right now we're doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we've been highlighting our smaller businesses. So we highlighted Balloon King and Queen. We've highlighted, who else did we highlight? We highlighted Ron, and we highlighted KRJ. So we've been highlighting a lot of businesses, and we'll be continuing to do so. We also on Instagram have the highlight bubbles where they actually stay and get archived, so you can see those and see their businesses and products. So we're really excited to do that, to try to get more connections and exposure made. So if you don't follow us on social media, you should definitely, because we share a lot of our great partner stuff. So thank you for attending. Hope to see you guys at the next one, our military outreach and our issues forum. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or give me a call. Have a great day.
Audrey, if I could just give one more plug too, because it might be of interest to folks. We have the virtual real estate Midlands forecast coming up on Thursday, September the 10th at 11 o'clock. We'll have Joey Von Nessen and several other speakers. So that might be something interesting that Ann and others of our small business would be interested in. We just sent out the flyers yesterday. So you're welcome to sign up for that. It'll be for 11 to 12, Thursday, September the 10th.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Everybody take care. Stay safe.
You too. Take care.